Hello, thank you for joining in. Hope our podcast puts a smile on your face. Today we'll be speaking with guests from Akele Kusidi community, a marginalized community located in the interior part of the Jenkwe development area of Nasarawa State. The Akele Kusidi community was selected by the Step Up Nigeria team for sensitization against vote buying, which had resulted in poor service delivery, leaving the community in total ruin. The community is known for its bad road network, which is a dilapidated bridge, making it difficult for the villagers to travel to the city for business. The community has no access to clean water and only has 2 classroom buildings. During the sensitization session, something great happened, which is why our guests are here today to discuss the amazing turn of events. Sir, it is so good to see you. Kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Gabriel Gawan from Akele Kusidi community.
Thank you. Amma, please kindly introduce yourself.
This is Jacob from Akele community. First time voter.
Thank you so much, Tessie, and the Step Up Nigeria team member who was present at the event.
Hi, Vanessa. My name is Halima Olufade, and I'm the Senior Program Associate with Step Up Nigeria, and also the Project Coordinator for the First Time Voters Integrity Initiative project.
Thank you, Halima. Our final guest is the Step Up Nigeria team member from Lagos.
Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rilwan Abu, a Program Associate with Step Up Nigeria at the Lagos office, and I support the First Time Voters Integrity Initiative in Lagos State. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Before we begin, I'd like to ask us, do we all have our PVC, our permanent voters card?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, I do. I have mine.
Okay, that's great. So we are all marching on that day, on February 25th to vote. That's good. Gabriel, why is it important that we teach youth and first-time voters to reject selling their votes and to act with integrity?
Is to promote integrity in the community and to the youth as well. And it also create awareness to the youth to know who is the rightful person to vote for.
Thank you, Gabriel. Riwan, is there anything you'd like to add to this?
Okay, Vanessa. Yes, I think it's important that we teach the youth, sensitize them to know the importance of vote selling and buying, because it's long overdue. I would say that our youth have been misled for quite a very long time now. Let me say the people generally have been misled by political aspirants, by telling us that okay, it's more like the norm. We only get to see them when it's time for elections, and then we don't see them again. So the people now have the mindset that it's only when politicians come around, they can take whatever they can take from them and then allow them to go, and that's it for that period. So it's important for us to sensitize them to know that, yes, truly, their vote is what they can use to, bargain for services in their community.
Thank you so much, Riwan. Tessie, what challenges do you face in your community, and how has vote selling and buying, how has it affected the delivery of basic services in your community?
The first challenges of exchange of voting. For instance, they exchange money with our PVC. After that, if they go, they have gone all, they will not come back again because we have already sell our rights to them. So we have no right to go and meet them again and collect what is for us, or they will come back and fulfill our promise because we have already done exchange with them. So we face a lot of challenges in our community by selling our rights to them.
We, the villagers, we have the challenges on like road, water, and school. So those are the challenges we have. If we sell our votes to them, they will solve our problem. All like those problems that I just listed, they won't solve our problem to them. They will just say they give us money and we give them votes, so they won't take back any services to the community.
Can you tell me any experience that you've had with politicians coming into your community to buy votes or campaign? Any experience you've had?
Yes, they do. As they came, we were trying to convince the community that they should give them, we should give them our vote. They try to raise money to give the community that they should go and buy rice and Maggi. They even bring Maggi with rice to give the community, try to convince the community that we should give them our vote so that they will emerge the win. But now, as we thank God, the Step Up Nigeria has bring this awareness to the villagers. Now, as they came, we now tell them that this is what we want, this is what the community wants. So we are no longer collecting money from them again, but they should be ready. If we give them our vote, they should give us services that we, the villagers, deserve. Immediately, as we told them like that, some get angry, but some try to convince the community that they will do. But we came to agreement with the aspirants that he said, he promised to the community that if by God's grace he matched the winner and we give him our vote, if he matched the winner, he's willing and is ready to do anything the community wishes to.
Thank you, Gabriel. The message for the 2023 elections is services and not money or gifts in exchange for votes. What has been the reaction of communities to this message? And this is directed to Halimat.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. So the message in 2023 election has been no services, no vote. So, and communities have been very, very quite responsive to that message, and they have been quite enlightened on why they should not take money or gifts or anything from politicians in voting in the next election. And it's actually quite amazing because from what we've seen in the previous election, some of these communities, they have been giving, bag of rice, salt, and even some people have even been able to, collect their ballot papers during elections to vote on their behalf. And so now, after the sensitization sessions, communities are now more willing to say that we are not going to sell our votes in exchange for rice or Maggi or salt. What we now are the services we need. And we can see that in Akeleku CD the last time we were there, and one of the prominent parties came to campaign for them. He had came last year and he had won the election and he never did anything in their community. And he came back again to campaign again for their votes the second time. And they literally asked him, what are the things you're going to do for us this time if we vote for you? And he was trying to tell them, don't worry, the usual, we'll give you rice and all. And they all said no, they don't, even the elders in the community. So the youth have been able to also, made the elders in the community understand why services are more important than money. And they all stood up to the politician and told him they were not going to accept any other thing apart from food services. And they literally chased him out of the community. They sang a song, made him go away, tell him, we don't want your rice, we don't want your money, waiting we want, now water we clean. And I'm sure the politician was quite surprised because he never expected that from them. He has been going there on and on, and they have been willing to sell their vote, but now they understand better and they're willing to stand and take better services rather than take money for their vote this time around.
Thank you so much, Halima. Okay, so you surprised me. Halima just said how politicians came to your community to campaign for vote recently, and you sang the song, we don't want your rice, we don't want your money, basically what that was Okay. Can you give us more? Like, I'm sure our listener wants to know more. What happened? Like, where did this come from? How come you this time around you rejected the campaign and, like you said, we are not selling our votes? Tell us more about it.
Understand that selling of our votes can never solve our problem in the community. So we stopped selling our votes, and there is no more blinding again since Step Up Nigeria trained us. So we now understand how to vote and who to vote, and we understand how to take our rights.
Thank you, Tessie. And how did you feel like when the politician came? What was your reaction to that? Like, you just all of a sudden said, okay, we are not selling our votes again. How come? Tell us.
Now we have the boldness to face them, talk to them face to face. They should know what our problems are and how to solve our problem.
Thank you, Gabriel. Okay, before we move on, can you just help me sing the song that you sang that day?
We no want your money, We no want your rights. Waiting we want to. Now water we clean. Waiting we want to. Now clinic and school. We no want your rights. We no want your money. Waiting we want to. Now water we clean. Waiting we want to. Now clinic and roads. So we even present it in drama. We even do it dramatically way that day too.
Oh my God, I wish I was there. Oh my God, like this is a great. I like Halima.
It was quite impressive. Like I was even surprised at myself, right? You know, I wasn't expecting any immediate action, and like that just did it for me. Like, okay, like this is actually what we want. This is, you know, the Nigeria we want to see, where we would have people say no to politicians that they don't want their money, and politicians begin to see why it's very important that these services are delivered to these communities and not just giving them, you know, peanuts, rice that would finish like in a week or two.
Honestly, a great lesson all around. The next time that politician is coming, he's definitely coming to do those services that you mentioned, because now he has seen that these youths, they are not playing. We want good services. We don't want your money anymore. This money is not going to help us the next 4 years or 8 years. Yes.
Other politicians coming as well also knows now that when they are coming to the community, they're not coming to come and speak to them about rice or money or Maggie or anything. They're coming to speak to them about what they are going to help them, the challenges they are going to help them tackle in their community.
Thank you so much. I really love this. So listener, you can see what is happening. We called it the interior part, like of Genco develop, like interior, and these things are already taking place. Imagine what can happen in your own community if you start taking action now to say, we are not selling our votes, we want to do the right thing, we want to act with integrity. Like 4 years no be beans. Yeah, honestly. Thank you so much. How have first-time voters started leading the campaign against vote buying in their community? Let me hear from Real One.
I would say the communities that we've sensitized youth first-time voters in Lagos, the first thing I would say stood out so far is the gradual mindset, just like we heard from Tessie and Gabriel. And in their case, you could see that immediate response to, you know, the way they reacted when the politicians arrived. But we're having that kind of feeling here also with the first-time voters, because like in Mariri community, we had one of the first-time voters that had sworn not to vote at all because of a bad experience he had in the past, that he went to vote sometime in the past and they used a plank on his head. And since that day, he has vowed not to vote again. But when we now told him the importance of going out to vote and then realizing there's so many things that his community, you know, lack, he just, right there on the spot, he said, okay, that he's quite convinced and that he's going to go all out and vote this time, and not just him, but, you know, getting his family, people and friends to go out and vote as well. So that's like one of that. And then we also had a couple of them, one of the first-time voters from our Goebin community, and then another one from Shogbe. So these ones particularly said they are not going to vote because their votes do not count at all. But then we try to make them understand that, look, if your vote does not count, these politicians will not run after you. They won't come to your community. It is because your vote matters. We've seen cases where the person that won in an election, the margin could just be just one vote, or, you know, it could just, your vote could be the decider. So it was one of the things we tried putting forward, and, you know, we saw those results, we saw that commitment, that resolution that, okay, this time I am going to go out to, you know, try to bring that change that my community truly deserves. So it's been a wonderful experience with them so far.
Thank you, Real One. Especially when you talked about the man, you said a plank. that was his own bad experience. Somebody used a plank on his head on the day of voting, and that changed it for him, that I'm never going out to vote again. But because of Step Up Nigeria coming to that community to speak to them, he had a mindset shift, and he said, no, I'm going to come out to vote. My vote actually matters. Nobody with their plank will prevent me from voting. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, the things that are happening. Halima, can you tell us any experience or any stories that have come out from?
Okay, so I would say that the first time voters are beginning to, lead the campaign against vote buying in their communities. For an example, is the Rinse community, where we have first-time voters. They made placards and had a megaphone, and they were moving around the community, telling people why it was important for them not to sell their vote, why it's important for them to, hold their leaders accountable, and even tell them how to vote. And they came across other first-time voters in the process of their mobilization, and they educated them on why it's very important for them to come out to vote on election day. And not only that, we also have people from, Gidan Dogo that have brought their, they went back home and speak to the elders in the community on why it's very important for them not to sell their votes, and they can all be on the same page, both elders and the youth and the little ones. Everybody has the same understanding, and that's what we want to see. We want to see them stepping down the knowledge they've already had, doing the sensitization sessions, to go back to their communities and educate other people, even people outside their communities, on why it is very important for them not to sell their vote. And we've seen first-time voters in Gidan Dogo, in Akele Kusidi, in Rinse community, in Alogani, taking up those challenges, going from door-to-door mobilization. Some of them are even going on WhatsApp, some of them are even speaking to their farmers association. They're also speaking to people, when they go to play ball on the field, after the field, they'll put all of them together, speak to them on why it is very important for them in this coming election not to sell their vote, and why they should vote with their conscience and choose the right person for the job.
Thank you, Halima. I'm aware that first-time voters are now they're leading the discourse to demanding for better service delivery, not just amongst themselves, but with elected political candidates, with their politicians. Can you tell us how the outcome has been?
It has been great. And so it's like Gabriel mentioned, it's amazing to see how confident the first-time voters have become. They now ask their leaders, those aspiring for positions, and asking them, okay, so you're aspiring for, let's say, for example, House of Assembly in my local government, you're going to be representing me. How do you intend to solve the challenges we are facing in our community? And they table their challenges to them in a very, respectful, understanding manner. And you see how confident they've become to stand up in front of these people and ask them things they would be doing in return for representing them in the House. And it has been great, because even the politicians now realize that the voters are now wiser, and they want better services. And so in between these discussions, they give them a laid out plan on how they intend to carry out these activities to help them improve service delivery challenges in their communities. And the first time voters, they would ask them, okay, so if you don't do it, how do we hold you accountable? And that's really amazing for me. Like, okay, so they're not only saying, they just don't want to listen to you to say you're going to do this. They want to know how, and they want to know, if it doesn't happen, how do we hold you accountable? And you see the representative responding to say, okay, I'm going to start doing it after 100 days in office. After 100 days, you can reach out to me, come to me, I'm going to give you my phone number. They even ask them, you can change your phone number when you get to the office, right? We can't reach you. So how do we hold you? How do we ensure that you do these things? And he tells them, okay, we're going to have, quarterly meetings where we're going to discuss issues you're facing. I'm going to tell you progress I have made on ensuring your service delivery challenges are being tackled, and other challenges that might come up even as at when after being elected. And that has been really, really an eye-opener for also me, myself, and for them. And to see how now we're seeing changes in people that are coming out to say, so they understand better, basically, to know that things are changing, and first-time voters are now, even not only first-time voters, people in marginalized communities basically are now wiser to demand for better services rather than take money or gifts from them.
Yes, and they are also ready to hold their leaders accountable, which is very important. Can you tell us the experience in Lagos, Real One?
Yes, so in Lagos, I would share this interesting one. So during one of our sessions with the politicians, one of the first-time voters that we had sensitized and then taken through our virtual reality film, put forward some of the challenges in her community. That's in Shobeson in Ajegunle. And she even went with a video recording of one of their vandalized transformer, and explained how women and children are no longer safe going out in the evening, that once it's past 6, 7, you can't even go about on the street anymore, that the transformer has been vandalized for quite some time now, and no one cares. No one has, gone to do anything about it. So she now asked the member aspiring for House of Assembly in the constituency that, sir, how do you intend to address this? That this is a pressing, need. But then the man, he said, okay, yeah, that he would do something about it. But she still insisted, calmly, respectfully, that, sir, you want our votes. This is something that matters, that is, of utmost importance to us at the moment. How can you assist us? How can you ensure that the women, the kids, and people on the street are safe? So he gave his word that he's going to talk to the power holding company in charge of that axis. And somehow, it seems word got out to the incumbent member representing that constituency, that's the current person, because he is aspiring for the first time, the person we met. But then it looks like words got out to the other person. And you know what's going to happen when they get to double cross him to fix that. So just yesterday or 2 days ago, they went to that community and fixed the transformer. They have light in their area now. So you could see that impact, that the people now coming up, the first-time voters coming out to speak, respectfully and demand things, of their leaders. It's now bringing that competition, that good competition, that's now endearing services to the people. So it's quite interesting to know that the things we do and what we are doing with these youths are already yielding results.
Thank you, Real One. Thank you. I love the fact that they went to meet the politician. They told him the issues that is happening. And then a video recording of a vandalized transformer. Few days after that, another political person comes to fix it. That's what we are looking for. So it shows that when you hold them accountable, I like the fact that the youths are realizing that we are bold. We don't need to stand and just be wondering, what can we do? We can actually do something. And I hope that these stories, this outcome will inspire more youth out there, that you can actually take action. You don't have to just be the helpless Nigerian youth. You can actually take action and demand from your local politicians and say, okay, these things are happening. Can you do something about it? And the key thing, follow up. Follow up is very, very important, because when you follow up, then they know that this. And there's something about that community you talked about, Shobeson community. So they actually have a committee of people in that same community. And the committee, what they do is that if there's anything happening, that they go straight to NEPA or whichever office that is in charge, and they go there, they always follow up. Okay, we've gone there today. This is what they said. And then they'll relate to the community. And then again, after some days, if nothing is being done about it, they go back there again to the office. And so steady follow-up until today or 2 days ago, when they finally fixed their transformer. And I love such stories. I want us to keep doing that, to keep following up, to hold these people accountable. That's the only time they can do what we want them to do. That's the only time we can actually have good service delivery.
We thank God as the information of vote selling or Step Up Nigeria bring this awareness to us, we the villagers. Now we experience that as they come, we now tell them that these are our problems. So they should be ready. We are not collecting anything to them. So they should be ready to give us services. Then we give them our vote.
Thank you so much. This podcast has been so good so far. Thank you all. And then we are coming to the end of this podcast. But before I let my guest go, I want them to share their messages to first-time voters on why they should all lead this campaign in their communities, and then why they should also come out to vote in February and in March. Let me start with Tessie.
If they collect bribe, they are not going to do anything to us. But if they refuse to collect bribe, they are going to solve our problem. So follow them house or school or where they gather, where the youth gather. Maybe they may not understand, but if we follow them, they will explain to them, they will know how to vote and they will know their rights.
Please go ahead.
First and foremost, they should get their PVC ready. They should get their PVC ready. That day, they should come up massively, not to collect any bribe from somebody, but to vote the credible candidate that he or she will do something for us, we the people of Akeleko City and the entire nation, Nigeria as well.
Thank you, Gabriel. Halima, please, your message to first-time voters.
So my message to first-time voters is, please, on February 25th and March 11th, go out to vote. Your vote is your right and your vote counts. So please go out and vote and act with integrity when you vote. And also to try and lead the campaign against voter buying and selling in their community. It works. It's not, Akeleko City, it's like a testimony for us to show that. And the example Wilon has given is to show that it is when we demand for the right thing, they are going to do it. And so we need to start campaigning against these things. We need to speak to other people apart from our various communities, speak to other people, because only Akeleko City cannot make sure development is done in the whole Jenkwe local government, right? So we need other communities to join in the campaign against vote selling and vote buying. And so my message to first-time voters is lead the campaign on against vote selling and vote buying, and hold your leaders accountable. Demand for good services rather than money or gifts.
Thank you, Halima. That's a good one. Wilon, can we hear from you?
Yes, my message to first-time voters is this. This election is not the time to say you want to sit on the fence. You cannot sit on the fence. A lot is happening currently in the country, and as such, this is an opportunity for us to make things right. So have that at the back of your mind, that this is an opportunity for you. Beside it being your right, it is also your responsibility to make sure that things work in your community and in the country at large. So please go out and vote. Inconvenience yourself. I keep emphasizing that. Go out and inconvenience yourself. It is not the time for you to sit at home and play football or watch TV. No. Even if it's raining, sun, or whatever it is, please go out and inconvenience yourself and vote, and make sure that you conduct yourself properly. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. What an exciting podcast. This is a lesson to you out there and to those listening, to not sell out your community, your future, your country for money or any material benefits. The benchmark of a working society is good service delivery. It increases the standard of living of the citizens, and it strengthens their patriotic values and their belief in the country. So a great lesson all around. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Tessie, our very special guest. Thank you for your contribution. And to the amazing, energetic, untiring Step Up Nigeria team. Thank you so much for your contribution. Like, you all are too much. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you.
To the people of Akeleko City community, please keep pushing against vote buying. Keep uniting in this fight to see that service delivery improves for the better in your community. Step Up Nigeria, our listeners, and the world at large, we are rooting for you. And same goes to other communities out there. To the youth listening to us right now, please act against vote buying and watch your community, watch your environments grow. This episode is available on all podcasting platforms, and it can be found on YouTube as well. To stay updated on our work at Step Up Nigeria, please follow us on Twitter and Instagram at step_up_Nigeria, on LinkedIn at Step Up for Social Development and Empowerment in Nigeria, on Facebook at Step Up Nigeria, on TikTok at Step Up Nigeria TV, and on YouTube at Step Up TV. Till next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.